Hello and welcome back to the Wigwam Show. After a couple month hiatus, I'll go more into that a little bit near the end and why this video is out instead of another video. But as long as I'm getting a video out, that's all I care about. So last night I just watched Barbarian for the first time, and I have some takes on it. Now note this is not going to be my overall main video on Barbarian. I would definitely love to go into more depth on this movie. Some of my opinions might change in the future, but as of right now, this is kind of how it is. So first and foremost, just as kind of a stating point, I kind of think this movie's overrated. At least just a little bit, at least. I remember when this movie came out, everyone was talking about how crazy it is and how, like, scary it was and just all, like, the twists and everything. And I was watching it and it's like, okay, I see the points where they can be scary. I jumped maybe twice, but also, I don't know if it's because I'm sitting at my computer watching it and not in a theater, so there's a different reaction to overall, but it didn't feel scary. I feel like a lot of people over the years just overhyped this movie, so just me sitting here and watching it, I was like, okay, it's not the worst movie, I've seen better, so I just think to me it's a little bit overrated as of now. Definitely, like, in the future when I discuss this movie properly and, you know, on the couch, I'll be able to get that initial overall response of do I think it's overrated or not. But as of now, it's a little bit overrated. Even though I just said that this was a overrated movie, this does a lot of good things. First off being the cinematography. It's actually one of my favorite filmed movies as of late, I guess. Mostly just of recent watched. It's one of my favorites. It's just very unique, very indie. Does work for the story in some ways, but it's very unique and like kind of different in some ways. It's a lot of still shots, which is good. And then they change it out of nowhere where it's like kind of long or warped or whatever, and it just works. Like very unique to the story of, yeah, but it definitely is very fun and to watch. I was definitely admiring the cinematography just while watching this. They did a really good job on it, and I definitely think that's one of the highest points of the movie overall is its cinematography. Something else that this movie does really good to me is the character development, and it's just overall just how the characters are. Now, I'm saying that more on the main character side, so you have Tess, AJ, Keith, technically the mother in a way. Frank is that middle ground of characters that are like written somewhat well, and then everyone else. I would say the weakest part of the cast for me is the cops that are in it. Kind of am a little iffy just on how they're, not how they're like how the actors did, but just their purpose in the story to me is a little they don't really need to be there besides to give false hope, but like I don't know, it's just a little iffy for me. Everyone else though does really good at the roles. I do think Frank's character is a little bit of a letdown, mostly because when you find out what he's actually like, how his character, you know, is very weak, and I guess that makes sense for the character, but I feel like it's just not as rewarding to see his character, spoiler, to see his character die the way he does, because we see him do all this messed up stuff, and then it's just, he just offs himself, and it's like, why? Like, I know for story, he's like, oh, I'm gonna check it out once he said the cops are coming. The cops know who I am. Bite the bullet. But it's not really, I don't really like those kind of things. I'd rather see this actual villain be destroyed in some way other than a cheap way out. I really think if they had the mother kill Frank in a brutal way, I think it would work way better to me, mostly because it's more rewarding. We see Frank as this very creepy dude who does stuff, and it's just not rewarding just to see him do it himself. I mean, obviously AJ couldn't do it because AJ's also in this kind of predicament, and his story kind of is very ironic with this movie, but like maybe not really Tess because she already left the house, but definitely I think overall, realistically, just overall speaking, if the mother killed Frank, it would be a way better death for him. But his death being a chicken out, I see what they're going with. I just think I don't really like it as much. It doesn't help that, you know, recently I've been into getting into Ready or Not, the whole plot and everything. You know, after going through Valley of Dolls and that whole plot, there's a part of me that's like, you deserve more than you think. So I definitely think Frank's death should have been way worse. more brutal, as in way worse, but I do see what they were going with it. Another thing that I didn't really like that kind of threw me off and kind of took me out of the movie is the ending when Tess shoots the mother. Now, the only reason why I get taken out of it is because once she shoots, boom, credits roll, or they start to roll, and it's like, okay, understandably, yes, you can do that, but I feel like getting into that cutting bit of 10 seconds of footage, credit, 10 seconds more of footage, and so on, it takes you out, and it's just kind of like, okay, I really wish that I just focused on the footage, and then credits. It's understanding when the song starts, and it's like, okay, we're wrapping up, just have footage of Tess just walking down, leaving the situation, it's fine. But I think just personally for me, I prefer movies that don't cut between credits and whatnot. I feel like credits, personally, should just happen all at the end. Now, if you're doing like a title card, that's different, because, you know, the title card takes you like that small smidge of a second away of the actual movie, and it cuts right back into it. No cuts, no breaks from the footage. Like, in the beginning, they do really well with like the opener of her going inside, and then title card, and then plays out. That's done very well. But I think just the ending itself doesn't really deserve to be cut into it. Now, if it was like, hey, we've run out of footage, that's, I think, maybe more acceptable. But personally, I definitely think that's just not the best idea. And again, that comes down to the editing. That doesn't really come down to the filmmaking itself. In production, that's more of a post-production thing. So, small nitpick. I do like how this plot is taking more of a modern approach, but also in the same way being twisted and a little bit FUBAR. FUBAR standing for fouled up beyond all recognition, or if you're a smart person, effed up beyond all recognition. But really, I don't know if it's because I already knew everything that was happening, because obviously, you know, I'm a Dead Meat fan, so obviously I watched the kill count before watching the movie. Bad Meat, I know, slap my wrist or something, I don't know. I do like the subplot of the movie, kind of beliefs and kind of the modernization of don't trust anyone that you see and whatnot. It does really good with, you know, Tess being a woman. She is more kind of concerned of the situation, while Keith is like, oh yeah, this is a weird situation that we're in, but we can get through this together. And Tess being more of the smarter side of, no, I'm gonna lock all the doors behind me, I don't really need his help, I'm gonna take a picture of his license, and everything just works because she's being smart about the situation. Keith, and he says this in the movie in a way, of how he was raised up, he's more of being the kinder person, in a way of just helping out whenever he can, but sometimes that gets a little weird, which everyone can understand. And also Bill Skarsgård being, you know, this character can kind of offset everyone and just being like, oh, is he actually gonna be the killer? And oh no, which is a good idea for the initial twist. Just real quick, I do think the setting is done really well with it being like, oh, this one house in the most rundown part of Detroit that you can works very well. It definitely adds the more creepier side, because, you know, when Tess comes in, it's raining and everything, she can't really see anything. She just sees the one house. Then when she leaves in the morning, it's like, oh, what happened to all the houses? So it works very well of just being like, oh snap, what's happening in the situation? And it just does really well. I will say one thing again, I'm kind of quickly interrupting in some ways, the cutting of some scenes is done to me. I definitely think the first transition from the house to AJ in California is done moderately well. There is some comedy to it, which works because, you know, the director is one of the guys from The Wise Kids, you know, so, and they know comedy, so they know this kind of bits and everything for a movie like this. There is some thinking into this movie, which is good. But whenever we transition to like the past, I don't want to say the 60s, but like maybe this, like the 80s or something, 60s, 70s, 80s, they don't say, and we go through Frank's character, that first like spot switch works in some ways, but also is very indie, and now I don't really like it. Like, it's good, but it's not like good. It's like in that middle between, like on a scale like 1 to 10, it'd be like a 6 to me, just because it's just abrupt and it's good for the story, but also just personally editing, I'm like a little iffy on it. Frank's story overall is really good. It's really messed up, but just that first initial transition just kind of throws it off a little bit. I do appreciate the effort to making the size of the frame smaller. It's not a 16:9. It's like maybe a 4:3, I think, but it just works in being like, oh, we're in the past now. It's very indie in that sense of just the filmmaking of that scene. Very indie. And again, this is an indie film, so it's just done really well. And that basically is just my first view of Barbarian, my reactions to it. Again, it's a good movie, but I definitely think it's overrated in just how people hyped up the movie and being like, oh, it's super scary. It's gonna shock you. And it's like, I don't know if it's because of the content that I watch or how I watch the movie. It just didn't feel like that, like, strong to me. So again, that's why I think it's a little bit overrated as of now. I would totally love to do a full-length video on this movie, but I don't really have the time right now. Speaking about full-length videos, obviously, if you couldn't tell, this video is coming out before my Silent Hill Revelations video. There's a couple reasons for that. One, I ran out of time and needed something to get out, so it doesn't feel like I'm just abandoning the channel. I'm not. I just got really busy in June and July. July for me was a lot of filming for school for me, and then also for Bloody Night. Bloody Night is a 80s slasher flick, basically, that I filmed with my cousin, who is, Gabe from Scared Screamless. I filmed that with him 1 week, and then that same week I had to film a school project, so it was a lot of chaos this whole month, and just final prepping for Bloody Night, and then also final prepping for my stuff. I just didn't really have time to really sit down and finish my Silent Hill Revelation script. It's almost done. I think I have like a page and a half, or at least a page left to write out, and then also I'm gonna have to double check everything. But as well, whenever I was gonna sit down and finish the script and maybe start recording, Charlie, Moist Critical, decided to upload his Silent Hill Revelations video. So I was like, well, might as well just skip this one for now, because one, he's posting about it, one, give him respect of all of that. But also, I don't want to feel like that I'm just sitting on the side and just like writing notes down of being like, oh, Charlie's doing this, so I'm also going to do this. No, if you pay attention, my Silent Hill video came out before Charlie's Silent Hill video. And I feel like with this one, I want to get stuff down proper, like my mic setup and everything. I've sorted that out, so I'm going to have clear audio through my nicer camera. I already have this sorted, but I'm going to have nicer stuff. I want to have it more of a higher production, so that's what I'm going to try and focus on throughout the whole month with this Silent Hill Revelations video. As of now, Silent Hill Revelations has been pushed back into another month, but then after that, I'm going to try and get maybe more movie reviews out just like this, just real quick, so I can have something on the channel. I'm going to try and start doing more videos like this, where I watch a new movie and then I just quickly talk about it, just for the channel's sake of humanity, and as well it gives me something smaller to do, so I'm not feeling like I have this such heavy burden on my shoulders of just being like, I need to watch this movie, I need to edit it, I need to write everything out, I need to do this, because I'm a one-man crew. Videos like this take way less time, so I can have less stress on my shoulders whenever I upload it. So that is going to be this plan for now. I don't really have any official schedule. Again, it's still going to be for the full-length videos at least once a month. And if I officially dedicate myself to doing videos like this, probably be like twice a month, just so I can give myself time to work on school, watch new movies, or movies that I haven't watched, like Barbarian, and give me something else to do so I don't have a lot of stress on my shoulders. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm going to get this out as soon as I can for the end of July, which is tomorrow as of filming. So, hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, share this video or share any of my videos out to your friends, family, anyone who you think would enjoy this video or this content that I do. Again, if you're not watching it, I would recommend watching the Scared Screamless podcast. It is very fun for me to film, especially because I just talk with my cousin and we nerd out and make jokes about everything. And again, watch out for the fall for Bloody Night. I'm going to be uploading some of my own stuff for Bloody Night here. So there's going to be some kind of separate content from his channel and mine. But overall, we're going to try and hype up this movie as much as we can because we worked really hard on it and it was really fun to do. And that should be it. And of course, I'll see you next time.